So, first of all, let's talk about the Met Gala and, of course, the circulating rumors and allegations. Now, it is actually being reported that the event is struggling to sell out tickets, and on top of that, designers are allegedly not interested in that event. And this is happening for the first time in history, by the way, and as expected, somebody has to take the blame. So, several different groups are blaming different people and are putting different reasons as to why this might be. Now, first of all, of course, the Republicans are being blamed by the Democrats because you guys know that Jeff is heavily involved in the funding of this year's Met Gala. So people are like, okay, the reason why designers are choosing to pull out is because they do not want their brands associated with the Orange Man. The same goes for the tickets as well, as people feel like nobody wants to support anything associated with the Orange Man, and that's the reason why the tickets are not selling. So let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about the Met Gala struggling to sell. Now, personally, I'm more inclined to believe that it has been an aggregate of factors that is probably causing this, because let's also not forget that this is going to be the first Met Gala that Anna Wintour is no longer leading Vogue. And I do know that they announced that, well, she still has some involvements with Met Gala, but I'm also of the impression that a lot of people don't know that she still has, something to do with the event. They really do feel like she completely pulled out, and that prestige that normally came with it might also not be there anymore because of the departure of Anna from Vogue. But let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that chaos. Of course, Dan Twitter is blaming Beyonce, and they are saying that she's cursed, and that's the reason why the Met Gala is not going to do well. And let me know also what you think about that. Personally, I just feel like, in as much as I do not like a husband, I feel like sometimes these YT people set up black people when they realize that there's about to be some controversy and stuff like that. They will propel you and put you on a supposed pedestal, and you think you're getting respect. Meanwhile, they know that whatever position they're giving you or whatever organization they are helping you get into is about to lose its perceived value. And I feel like that's the situation with the Met Gala. Of course, with Anna Wintour leaving, they knew that it was never going to be the same. And of course, with the Republicans getting heavily involved, they felt like if they were to bring in somebody who is associated with the Democrats, a lot of more black people would come. And if something goes wrong, they will always turn around and say that, oh, look, it's not even because of the Republicans, because look, the Democrats are also involved. But this is just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section what you think about all of this Met Gala drama. Speaking about the Met Gala still, now, if there's one person that a lot of people look forward to seeing, it is Zendaya. Not only does she have the perfect body, for fashion and, for these red carpets, but she also does have a stylist who understands her body very well. So, of course, every Met Gala, she always comes out here and, she steals the spotlight. And so when it was announced that Zendaya will not be attending this year's Met Gala, and already there've been rumors that Rihanna is not going to be in attendance as well, and Nicki Minaj is not going to be in attendance as well, allegedly. So people are like, who else is not coming? Because Rihanna not coming, Zendaya not coming, Nicki not coming. So more and more it seems like Beyonce might be left with only the YT people to address, because the black galleys that actually do eat on the red carpet seemingly are pulling out. Tiana Taylor, I know for sure, will be out there, coming out to the Met Gala. You guys, did you see the video that has been recently circulating about Tiana and how people are calling her performative? So what had happened is that initially, the video that went viral when her daughter, I think it was Junie, was fixing her dress on the red carpet, okay? And she was out there posing for the pictures. Now, recently she attended, it must be the Billboard Women in Music Awards. She started doing the same thing to her mom, and people were like, okay, now this is becoming corny. It was iconic when it happened the first time with Junie, but you trying to recreate that moment is kind of tacky, and, people are calling her all kinds of performative. And with Tiana, I don't know. I've always felt like she's extra, and that did give performative, okay? The way that it was happening, it wasn't giving organic at all. It was giving, she's trying to make it seem like it's a mother-daughter thing that they pass down to each other, milking that situation with Junie. But am I blaming her for that? That's her mom, and that's her mom's dress. If she wants to get down on the red carpet to fix her mama's dress to recreate another moment, another viral moment, it's up to her. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let's talk about Paprika Spice. Now, Paprika Spice is out there collaborating with Wendy's for a commercial, and it appears she has decided to basically turn around that entire McDonald's situation into a bag. I wish I could say I'm mad at that. I'm not, actually. That's exactly how you milk a situation, because, if people are out there dragging your behind in a McDonald's, what better way to clap back but to turn around and work, with Wendy's, which is, of course, their direct competitor. And, it's pretty cute, the commercial, okay? I just wish that the same would go for the music, but I do understand that rapping and music is not for everyone. I just dislike the fact that that genre has been made light to the extent that everybody who gets a little bit of social media clout wakes up and feels like they can be a female rapper, and everyone will applaud for very much subpar lyrics, bars, and of course cadence. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Paprika Spice and Wendy's. That being said, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, Advocate BBL. Now, one thing about her is I feel like she just scrolls through the internet looking for something to be mad at, because I even don't know how she comes across these pages. There is a page that posted a video claiming that it was Advovo BBL. I don't know if it's AI, I don't know if it's hair, but the forehead, the face in that video looks like her old face, okay? And she said, why the blog said, why does Cardi B trend on controversies? What is she shared, with Sister Hennessy in a club? Okay, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. I hadn't read the entire thing. Oh my God. And the tweet has like 9,000 impressions and 35 comments. You cannot convince me that this was not staged, because how did she even come across a tweet with 9,000 impressions and 35 comments, unless if it's true that she actually does Google her own name. I mean, that would make a lot of sense, because I just don't understand how she got to see this. And so she responded and said, "Yao, Nigerian baiting pages getting weird and disgusting now. Yao truly getting out of control. Yao, please report." Okay? And so let me know in the comment section what you think about that little interaction. Do you think that it was a valid crash out? And how do you think she came across that page? That's the most important thing. Okay, and of course her fans were not feeling it, because that page that is on Twitter, I will not mention it by name, that is very good at spreading misinformation about everything that everybody that does not like her, meanwhile creating fake states for her, is clearly in Nigeria. So people are like, okay, that's very contradicting for you to make it about the page being from Nigeria, given that you're also always reposting that what page that slanders all the other female rappers. Now let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, academics. Academics is at this point not letting up. He's not letting up on Jay-Z, because tell me why he's out there posting a video claiming that employees that seem to work for Jay-Z were being questioned about him being in the e-files. And, he posted a couple of videos, and I was like, this man is so petty. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight between academics and, the title swindler, because it does not seem like he's going to be backing down anytime soon. And I just feel like when it comes to being calculative about who they bully and who they don't, they might have missed their mark on aiding and academics, because unlike all these other media personalities that have been in the industry, that are entangled with the industry, Ak has nothing to lose. It's not like he's been an artist. It's not like he's any dirty laundry that hasn't been aired. He has his own demons, but they're out there for all of us to see. None of it has been hidden, and I feel like they struggle dealing with people like that, people who have no problem with their own dirty laundry being aired. I feel like that's the same situation again with the likes of Nicki Minaj, who will be like, listen, I'm not paying you any money to make anything disappear, because at the end of the day, you guys are going to still come around and blackmail me using that information. And so, because I feel like their control does come with holding a lot of people's secrets. And I think that's the reason why, certain media personalities, the Joe Buddens and, the like, I feel like that's probably the reason why they just bend whenever they're told to bend. They have so much to lose, and they probably have some information that they do not want out there. Now, moving on to the next thing that we're going to talk about, let's talk about Tasha K. It appears she might have realized that, that whole Nicki Minaj tea drama thing, she was doing the most, because today she woke up and decided to tweet DJ Vlad to basically call him out for deleting the lie after she was on his behind. Now, to speak more on the Tasha K situation, I just feel like the way she worded the whole "I've been, taking Nicki Minaj's side" situation is very misleading, because when you actually look at it, when it comes to reporting in blogs, the bar is very, very low for Nicki Minaj and her fans. It is so bad and so low that whenever someone reports the truth, they are applauded. Whenever it pertains to Nicki Minaj, when someone just states the fact and the entire happening of, an incident from the beginning to the end without chopping it up, starting from where Nicki reacted. If someone does so much as correctly report on Nicki Minaj, her fans have been traumatized to such an extent that they start to applaud the person. It's like conditioning. They've been conditioned to the fact that the blogs lie on Nicki Minaj. They push narratives, they push propaganda, they don't report accurately, that now they're applauding fish for swimming. And it's sad to watch. It's very sad, because it's not normal. Let's take, for example, the entire back and forth between Caesar and Nicki Minaj, or Caesar and Advocate BBL. If a blog goes back to wherever it started and who started to talk on whose child and who started to disrespect children, if a blog goes as far as the time that Hennessy was talking about Papa Bear and, documents the entire situation and explains the entire situation, that blog will get an applause. That blog will be praised as if they did something out of the ordinary when they just merely reported on facts. And that is sad. And I just feel like people are so used to every media platform being unfair to Nicki Minaj that any media platform that does seem to look at what she does objectively is immediately regarded biased. Because if you're not bashing Nicki Minaj, you're biased automatically. And it's very sad. And for Tasha K to not be able to see that this is exactly what's happening is crazy. Because all she did was call out DJ Vlad because that lie was baseless about Nicki divorcing her husband. She didn't do anything extra. Do you get what I'm saying? It was a lie. She simply said the truth. And when it comes to Bongo 2 and her situation, she brought it to the internet. So it's saddening to see the state of media when it comes to female rap. And it can be a very complicated fine line, I will tell you that. I remember when I first came on YouTube, my entire intention was like, okay, I'm going to try and not be biased, okay? Not be biased towards anyone. I love Nicki Minaj, but all I'm saying is everyone is going to get a fair chance. I will be reporting and commenting on everyone in a fair manner. But the more you pay attention to media, the more you pay attention to how they treat her, you cannot help but get emotional sometimes because you're a human being. Once you start to see the unfairness and injustice, you cannot help but become a soldier. You understand what I'm saying? It ends up being a situation where you're like, well, every other mainstream media platform is bashing her, so I'm actually going to do the opposite. You don't even come in with that intention, honestly. And if you are not bought, and if you do pay attention, it's saddening to see the state of media as it pertains to female rap. And I do feel like that's probably the reason why the genre is not doing as well as it used to do. It's a hard thing, really. Those who know me from the beginning, I wasn't always like in your face, I'm a bab, I support Nicki. No, I wasn't always like that. I came in trying to be neutral, but the more you stay in here, the more you're like, no, man, what the F? Like, the least you can get is some little blogs as well supporting her because this is BS. And the fact that you being objective, you reporting the real timeline of events will make other people mad. And the mere fact that the status quo of reporting when it comes to Nicki Minaj is you have to paint her in a negative light. If you don't, you're being biased. But every other blog is allowed. Okay, so if you come on here and Nicki Minaj made a donation to someone, right? And you say that, well, this is what happened. She donated to a person. We thank her for the donation. And you leave it at that. That is a problem. That's a problem because after you say that she donated that money, you still have to say, wasn't she just hanging out with Trump? Oh my God, now she's MAGA. If you don't do that, you're not doing a good job. If Nicki Minaj reacts to someone, right? If someone says something to her first and then she retaliates, if you go back and say, well, this person said this about Nicki Minaj and Nicki responded and said this, immediately you're deemed biased because you reported on the matter as it actually happened. And also, on the other hand, immediately the babs are praising you because you're being objective, which is something that you're supposed to do. You're just supposed to be reporting exactly where things started and how they ended. But her fan base has been abused so much by the music industry and the media to the point that they applaud bloggers for doing their job as they should. They applaud, media personalities for speaking the truth. Basically applauding fish for swimming, like I said. And it's very sad, It is very sad. And I do feel like once the other side realizes that the babs are praising and supporting the media that they feel like is being objective towards their favorite, those people will start and attack that media personality saying that you're biased because that's not what they're used to. Because they are not used to objectivity when it comes to female rap and Nicki Minaj. And I do hope that Tasha wakes up and realizes that, it's not like she's been heavily supporting Nicki Minaj on lies. No one is saying that you should lie when you're reporting about Nicki Minaj. People are just saying you have to be factual, you have to be objective. And if you're equating your objectivity to bashing Nicki Minaj, you're just becoming like the other media personalities that are paid for. But anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about that entire ordeal. I just felt like it was an interesting thing to discuss. What do you guys think about the state of media in as far as reporting on female rap is concerned? Do you also get what I'm talking about when people are applauded for doing the basic things? Anyway, thank you very much you guys for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already